love to hear the answer to that one, too. Ms. Bass.
Thank you. Director Liu, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
You and the President should be commended for crafting a $1.1 trillion deficit-cutting budget that strikes the right balance, frankly, between spending reductions and targeted investments in infrastructure, innovation, and education. Prior to Congress, I served in the California legislature where we had to make tough choices, such as eliminating Pell Grants for summer school to sustain the maximum award for all eligible students. Having said that, I do want to take a moment to draw attention to the choices made in the continuing resolution that will be debated this week. Not only does the spending plan make devastating cuts to critical programs families depend on to get back on their feet, but the continuing resolution would result in lost jobs of 1,300 police officers, 2,400 firefighters, and 16,000 private sector construction jobs from cutting $1.7 billion from the federal building fund. The most promising new source of economic growth and job creation is in our public infrastructure system, from roads and bridges to broadband and air traffic control systems to a new energy grid. I'm pleased to see that the budget invests in these key areas that will spur job creation. And based on this, what do you believe are the potential numbers of jobs that would be created by what you and the President are proposing?
Congressman, I thank you. I can't give you a specific job forecast. I think we've all learned that there's uncertainty in the projections when you get to a pinpoint number. I think what we know is that that when you build roads, when you build ports, when you build the infrastructure we need to be competitive in the future, it puts men and women to work on those projects in real time. And in our surface transportation reauthorization proposal, we do propose that $50 billion be done at the beginning to get a head start and to get people to work. I'd be happy to kind of get back to you with some notions of what that means in terms of specific jobs, but it's clearly a lot of jobs.
I would appreciate that. Even if you could give us a range, if you could get back to me, I would appreciate that. Second question, with the cuts that are taken in the defense part of the budget, I do believe that we can find additional savings. And I wanted to ask you, for example, as I understand it, there's nearly 270 bases in Germany 65 years after World War II ended. And I wanted to know if the administration has conducted a savings estimate on closing these bases that probably no longer serve a strategic value, and if some of them do, I would question whether over 200 do.
You know, I think that these are the kinds of questions the Department of Defense needs to ask, not just about Europe, but about its operations everywhere. What do we need for our current and future defense? What could we live without? I don't want to prejudge the answers to any of those questions, but I think that by putting in this budget the first step to bringing the Department of Defense back into the kind of normal budget trade-offs where we're seeing real growth, that is a cut in terms of what you can buy. It means you have to start doing less things. That's a step in the direction of asking a lot of very hard questions.
Thank you. And then just finally, I wanted to thank you for your comments earlier, especially about the R&D credit. You know, being in California in the Silicon Valley, we hear that all the time from the tech community, the need for that to be long-term so that they can do the planning. So thank you very much for your time.